What is the worst transaction that you've ever been through, and what happened? And how did you solve those problems? So I always like to use the analogy, I've heard this many times talking about realtors, that we make it look easy or real estate seems fun and easy. Well, it can be fun and easy, but there's also a lot of things that the buyers and the sellers don't see that we do behind the scenes. And that's the way I personally like to keep it. If there's a hiccup going on, I want to make sure that I can conclude that and go to my clients and say, this is what was happening and this is how it's been fixed and how it's being handled so that they have less stress. There's the analogy of being like a duck floating on water, and they look so peaceful and like everything's going smooth, but underneath their feet are pedaling so fast to get to where they need to be. So that's what I like to feel the back end of the real estate transaction looks like. So there was a story once a couple of Decembers ago where I had this lovely couple. They were looking to start a family, but they had an idea that they wanted to do a duplex. They wanted to buy two properties in one and live in one and rent out the other. So it was a great strategy, but there is a very limited inventory for that, and especially for first-time home buyers. So we looked, and we were so blessed when this market started to really heat up a couple of Decembers ago. We got in, the realtor and I worked together very quickly, and we even got some seller's help at the time, which was unheard of. So we went all the way through this transaction. We were about to close around Christmas time, and we get an appraisal back, and the appraisal is low. So when you have a low appraisal, you have to adjust, and you have to figure out a solution as to how we're going to come up with a difference. So I started looking at the appraisal and pulling up the comparable sales, the addresses of those comparable sales that the appraiser did. And this appraiser just happened to be from out of the area. And crazy enough, that appraisal had a property that didn't even exist. So long story short, I ended up going back to the lender, explaining it, and doing a rebuttal on that appraisal. It was quite a hair-pulling experience for sure, to get them to redo an appraisal and convince them that the one that we originally had was incorrect. So lo and behold, I pulled some resources. I talked to some friends that are experts in the appraisal area, and knew and felt confident that the value that we had provided as our offer was a good value and that the home should appraise for that. So over a longer period of time, we extended our closing, went a little bit past Christmas, but overall, we ended up getting an appraisal back that was higher than that value, and they ended up with equity in their property. They're happy and they are enjoying the fact of living in one space and being landlords in the other, and since then have started a very beautiful family. So with all of that hard work, all of the blood, sweat, and tears that went into it, it just makes my heart full to know that all of that work has created a beautiful situation for my clients.